Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today in this video I am discussing about the software testing technique which is being used by the software tester to design the test cases while doing the software testing. So let's start the video. This is the basic outline or the cover page that I would cover in this video, that what is software testing technique, why we use the software testing technique, and what are different software testing techniques, and how to create the test cases by using software testing technique. And also I will be discussing about the uses or the drawbacks of the particular software testing technique. What basically the software testing technique is. So the software testing technique is a technique which is used to create a proper test case while doing the software testing. It is basically a method to identify the particular valid or invalid test cases in the applications while doing the testing. And as manual testing helps in reducing number of test cases to be executed while it increases the test coverage, so it is mandatory that we have to first of all identify that what are the valid test cases in the particular input, or what are the invalid test cases. It helps in identifying the test conditions which are otherwise difficult to recognize. It is used to design proper test cases from which test coverage or the whole test coverage can easily be recognized. What are the different software testing technique or the test case design technique are: boundary value analysis method, equivalence class partitioning technique, decision table based testing, error gauge testing, state transition testing. What basically the boundary value analysis? As the name itself says, that boundary value analysis means that the analysis or the testing of the applications at the boundary of the particular input values. So the boundary value analysis is the testing at boundaries of partitions. It basically works on the principle of maximum and minimum, on which, on the basis of which the valid test case and invalid test case is being designed. Like for example, if you want to accept only input values of persons whose birth year is between 1998 to 2010, then here the 1998 would work as the minimum and 2010 is works as the maximum. If the value less than 1998 is considered as invalid, or the value exceed from 2010 is also considered as invalid, and the years between the 1998 to 2010 is considered as the valid test cases. And these are the scenarios which are being used by the tester to fulfill the valid test cases and invalid test cases. It basically divides the partitions at boundaries, as the software testing technique based on the principle that if a system work well for these particular values, then it will work perfectly for all values which comes between the two boundary values. Like if we enter the value 2000 in the particular column in which the birth year is required, then it should accept it. It does not give as the invalid input or the invalid values. So it is necessary that the tester should consider the valid and invalid test cases while doing the testing. It is being used when there is x and y values, like 1998 to 2008 means that the 1998 works as the x and 2010 works as y. So this is the technique which is used to build the valid or non-valid test cases. Equivalence partitioning testing. Basically, the equivalence partitioning testing is the division or divide of the particular test data into the number of partitions, so that it is easy for the tester to identify the valid and invalid test cases. It is basically a black box testing and also known as the equivalence class partitioning technique. Like for example, if we have a citizen, senior citizens, and the other persons, so at that time this type of testing comes into existence, like how many persons are come under the particular values. Or with the help of this method we can easily identify the whole scenario of the applications, like what should we have to enter in the particular column or the particular input, so that in this not entire input value is being required, only one value is required or one class is being required to identify the whole scenario. So from this we can reduce our time spent to rework and also maintain the test coverage. What is decision table based testing? Basically, as the name comes as a decision, it is basically based on the logical relationship. So the decision table based testing is based on the logical relationship. So when applications have the logical conditions in the applications, like then they will prepare test cases on the basis of conditions, like if something is true or something is false, like that test cases is being prepared. If some values is being true or some value is being false, on the basis of which the decision table is being prepared, or on the basis of that decision table a one probable test cases is being designed. State transition testing. State transition testing is the testing which is basically used for the simple or small applications. Means that it is not valid for the large applications or not suitable for the complex applications. State transition testing is a type of testing which is being used to test different states of system under test. Like if for example consider an applications which have sign-in module, in which if user enter the valid credentials, then test case should pass and the user should enter into the particular applications. But if a user used invalid credentials more than, if the site developer has said that if user enter more than 4 times the wrong credentials, then its account gets locked, and they should have to report to the other persons to unlock it, or other areas to unlock it. So the state transition diagram provides clear view of the applications or the state changes in the applications, but it is only suitable for simple applications. A complex applications lead a complex state transition diagram, which makes it less effective. So it basically used for the simple applications, not for the large applications. Error gauge testing method. Basically the error gauge testing method is based uh, on the end user's perspective. In this the guess of the errors is being done by the software tester. They work as a end users, or they think like as per the end user's perspective. They don't relate it to the technical knowledge. They only done the testing on the basis of guessing, or as per the end users. Like error gauge testing is the testing in which the tester use their experience to test the applications functionality and try to find out bugs or defects in the applications. It is also known as the experience based testing technique. There are so much errors are find out while using this technique by tester, which developer might make mistake while developing applications. Common errors that a particular developers while developing applications, such as upload file without attachment. These are the common mistakes that developer have arise sometime. Upload file with less or more than size limit, accepting submit button without any input. It might be seen in many applications. If the proper testing is not being done, then there is a scenario in which the application accept the values without values. The a particular application accept the values without any input. So it is being necessary that tester should test the applications by the error gauge testing method, so it might create the defects or bug areas to be removed or to be fixed by the developers. Apart from this testing technique, there are some other testing techniques are like comparison testing and graph based testing. Basically the graph based testing is the testing in which the graph of the objects, by identifying the objects, is being made, and on the basis of that graph the test cases is being designed. So as all application is being made by the some objects, by identify that object a graph is being prepared, and from this object graph a test cases is being prepared by identifying the relationship between the objects. And also the comparison testing is being present, like in this testing different independent versions of software is being compared to each other for testing. Means that the test that the if one version of software is being released, then other versions should be compared with the previous version, so that the tester can find out the bugs or defects at the early while doing the testing. What are the benefits of using these testing techniques or test case design techniques? Tester does not need to have a technical knowledge, but it is important that they should think as per the end user's perspective, like the proper GUI should works, and the proper linking should works, and the application should have proper documentations, so that it might not create any hurdles while for users while accepting the application or while using the applications. It is more effective for large and complex applications, because if the bugs or errors or are identified early in the testing, then then it might not create the circumstance in which the user creates some bugs or errors. So it is being necessary that the proper testing should be done before deploying the applications to the cloud or any other server. Like defects and inconsistencies can be identified in the early stage of testing. With having the advantage of these testing techniques, there are the chances of some drawbacks of these testing techniques are also present, like if the tester having a no technical knowledge, then there are chances of ignoring possible conditions while testing. Or in this type of testing, the techniques, there are no complete test coverage is possible for large and complex projects. Means that if we have 10 modules, then there is a 10 modules, then it should be 100% coverage is not being possible, like it might be the ignorance of one or two modules, so that 80 to 85% coverage is being possible while using these testing techniques. So ignorance of test coverage is also present in these testing techniques. In a stipulated time or less time, there is a possibility of ignoring the testing, and doing all tasks to deploy the applications, and it might create the bad impact on the applications or the end users. So that it is being necessary that the testing should be done properly while doing the while test the particular applications. So thank you very much. If you like the video, please like, subscribe and share, and stay tuned for further videos. Keep learning, keep watching. Thank you very much.